they asked me to analyze this replay for them to see where they do mistakes and how to improve and stuff like that. And we will go into the replay now. So first off, we're running a quad lane top with the Vikings taking middle and bottom, which I think is wrong because the important lane on Dragonshire is really the bottom lane. It's easier to take the temple, the siege camps are near, and well, another reason is that the Vikings really excel in the top lane because they're about the only hero who can take the temple, the shrine, at the same time as laning efficiently. It's very easy on the bottom lane because the entrance to the temple, the shrine, is way more open. It always takes a long time to run around here and get into that shrine area, and you usually have to take 2 to 3 heroes to the top lane to do that efficiently. But the Vikings are 3 heroes, albeit weak, they can do it on their own. So if you have Vikings on Dragonshire, create pressure on the middle and bottom lane, most likely on the bottom lane, to actually provide Vikings with an easy opportunity to snatch a top shrine. But anyway, this is not the game situation we're in. Right off the bat, the green team or the blue team pushes into middle lane. They get absolutely nothing out of it except for an Eric kill, which is about, well, 5 to 10% of experience. And now we'll get into this push here. Vexx Gaming tries to push the top lane, which they could just as well do on the bottom lane. It would be way more effective because they could then snatch the siege camps way more easily. But anyway, the blue team now reacts to this, and they trap Vexx in this kind of awkward position. If you see this, it's like I'm trying to get I have my drawing tool somewhere. If you can see this, I need to go back a little. It's about here, it's happening here. We see this upcoming rotation from the blue team. Dude, this is weird. So the issue here is Vexx Gaming is removed from the entry point of the blue team. They will come in here and from that position. So they're kind of trapped and they need to get rid of that by moving out of the right around here. They should be here. But they don't, so they get trapped now. And this is a matter of communication. Faker Fangirl has to call this out, or people have to look at the map. This is just a matter of team awareness. But as you can see, Chainer goes into the top lane, and so does the Nubarak. And they will get trapped into this position right here. So the fight plays out a little, and Ellemeyer gets trapped in this kind of, he's surrounded like that, so he can't go anywhere here. But being cool, and that is his E skill, which right now he's in position to just shoot it right here. So that's what he should do. Then he should walk down here or down here somewhere, just to create space between himself and the thingy. The other guys are, well, they're pretty safe. They will get out of this. So what Elmeyer should do is shoot this up here, walk there, and then just jump to his spirit thingy. I don't know what it's called exactly. And then he will be safe. What the other team members then should do is secure this position so that Elmeyer can go this way. But that's not how it plays out. We will now see him dying, especially with a Nubarak just charging into him. Which is going to happen. Now this situation is over, so it's time to regroup, and by that the Shrine is coming up. The Vikings should really merge on the bottom lane. Brightwing could take up the mid lane. That's another problem here. Playing Vikings into either Kalphas or Jaina is shitty, so playing into both of them is just really bad. Because Vikings are just susceptible to... It's not fun to play Vikings into those heroes. But they don't, and they leave Vikings in the middle and bottom lane. And that might work. Faker Fangirl might be able to hold these things, and he will do it, as you can see later on in the replay. But I would make those rotations. Just balance the lanes a little bit more. On the other hand side, Jaina moving up here. And this will haunt them again, because as you can see the situation is quite similar. You have this lane, this is where the entrance is, where Jaina will come in, and people should be aware that Jaina is going to come in because she's leaving the middle lane towards the top. And the team should have seen this. If they haven't seen it, that's an awareness problem. If they because just like the last time they get trapped. Yeah. So in spite of having won the fight, which is a good thing, they could have positioned themselves better. It's not... A mistake doesn't always lead to losing the game or something. It's just something you could improve on. Now Sylvanas shoots her E into a Nubarak and teleports to it. And that's kind of cute, but it's really just get out of it rather easily. That's a minor mechanical mistake. Now we don't see anything happen for about a minute, other than this, well, this gate will fall sooner or later because the blue team doesn't react to it. There's absolutely nothing happening down here. It's a completely stale situation, so the red team, Vexx Gaming, is building the advantage here. This is like the first turning point in this game. Where Vexx Gaming actually builds an advantage. Well, Kalphas died. And of course I'm analyzing this from the position of Vexx Gaming. I don't care for blue's mistakes, I won't comment on that. If they play badly, that's just their problem. Now I wrote down that this is a good time to maneuver the Vikings into the top lane, which I think is fact, because it's rather easy now to make the necessary rotations. You can bring in Muradin or Brightwing or really anything into the bot lane, maybe even Sylvanas, and then rotate the Vikings into the top lane where they really shine. It's the problem with Vikings in the top lane is Vikings can bind two heroes to the top lane of the enemy team, so they always create a mismatch somewhere else. And that is really what you're trying to do in really any kind of sports. You want to create mismatches so that you gain an advantage elsewhere. If you watch the NFL or NBA or really any kind of team sports, it's always about that. Maybe it's a bit more convoluted the more players are on a game, but that's really the whole point of it. But Vexx Gaming decides to push middle instead, and that's not a bad thing. You can do that as well. It's a matter of preference. You just have to win the game in some way. But we can go back to the game now. Blue team has captured both shrines, so it's quite obvious that they're going to try to capture the dragon. And there's a mistake here. Manu should really stay here because it's the perfect position for him to be in. The other one would be over here, but that's a matter of choice. I would like to be here, but you can just as well be here. What you shouldn't do, however, is sit on the shrine like, well, I mean, that's where the opponent. It's not like you have to spot whether they go there, because if they want the dragon, they have to go there. So you can just as well sit here and bombard them from afar, which Tua is quite capable of. So I would rather be here or here. Another advantage of this is that you can actually gain vision of these areas, which you can't when you sit here and wait for something to happen. It's a lot more proactive to be here or here than to be here. Now it's quite obvious, or it should be obvious, that you're surrounded at this point. Not counting this guy, you see Vala here, Anubis here, Vega here. And the fight itself goes kind of well. You lose Sylvanas and that's about it, but you should retreat now. It's really important that you retreat and don't mess around here. Now, as you can see here, nothing's happening here. People are kind of close to each other, but nothing's really happening. It's not like a big team fight is going down. But Whitewing uses his W, what's it called, Y. It's just as easily walked in about 4 seconds. You shouldn't really do that, but that's a minor issue. It's not costing you the game or anything. It's just, if you can preserve that cooldown, you should preserve it. Now there's a situation coming up here. I don't quite know what's going to happen, but I thought something down. Oh yeah, so you see this incoming rotation, or at least you should see it. And you should be aware of it. But instead you move towards the left, which you shouldn't really do. You create the same problem. They can easily file in here and cut you off, and then storm in from the left as well. And from the, well, not from the bottom, but you get the idea. You would rather be around here or even here. It's like you don't even know where Anubis is coming in yet, and Vega, and that can cause a real problem for you. And I guess it will. We will see about that in a minute. So yeah, you're surrounded here. And you played this quite well, you actually win this fight, which is cool. But you could have still set up better. Now there's nothing happening. You actually get the dragon, so yeah, this is played pretty well by you. Now this is played really well. The Vikings are on top and bottom and split push, and you can easily take the gate, and you're about to do that. And this rotation is really the right thing to do, because you can't easily push into this. You might risk even losing a couple heroes, but you can just go bottom and push something else. So this is played well. But now you should be kind of aware of this rotation coming in, because you're creating a threat down here. And they have to respond to that, so they're coming in from this side. And you see that. You've actually seen it a couple seconds ago. At about 5:12, I believe. Yeah, the Brightwing spot, this is a good idea. But then you get the intelligence, and you should react to it. Like, the front is about here. So you want Muradin to be here. And maybe even a dragon, but the dragon can push. And you want to, the squishier heroes to line up around here. Brightwing will move back, this is not a problem, but you take this fight a bit different. As in, the Vikings run in, and the Vikings are going to die. This movement by Sylvanas is good, but you lose a couple heroes, yeah. Again, not the worst in the world, the game is not thrown or anything, but you could have played it way better. I have something else at 5:15 I need to take a look at. Oh yeah, okay, so while Sylvanas was here and the fight building up, you spent all your Q trying to deal some more siege damage for the fight, just in case. It's probably not a big deal, just the way things are. And Eric is rotating down here way too late, he might as well stay top and soak the lane instead. He won't be able to deal much damage down there. It's just, he's moving bottom too late, so he might as well stay top. It's not like he arrives in time or anything. He's not needed for the long yet. I wouldn't move him. The aftermath of the fight is played out well, you get a pickup. You don't overextend into here, which a lot of people do. And now nothing's happening for a while. At least until now. You kind of, you take the bruiser camp and you turn 10. and then you kind of drop it. I mean, the Puser camp was a good idea, but now you go in way too aggressive in the middle lane. We will see when this comes up. Yeah, you could just push it a little bit here, but that's a matter of taste. But then here's the problem. We all want to force a fight at 10 versus 9, but we don't really want to force a fight. Fighting for the sake of fighting is bad at any kind of level you fight, because you can gain something. And especially at 9 versus 10, or 10 versus 9, depending on which way you look at it, you don't really have to push anything. You just siege. It's like, think about a sieging situation. You don't charge into a castle and get slaughtered, but that's what you're doing here. It's really not at all important to run in here or to extend past the 4, because the 4 slows you down. And you go in here, and that's really, it's not necessary. You just want to kill this 4, you don't want to kill Kalphas, because a dead Kalphas doesn't gain you anything, except that he's dead, but it's not a map objective, it's not something you want to do. Meanwhile, Vega is, well, I don't know what he's doing up here. He's trying to push, which he's not too good at. But this just means that you can easily take the 4. It doesn't mean that you should jump past the 4 on a Kalphas. This Emerald Wind is questionable as well, because it will really only hit a Nubarak. And you're really spreading yourself too thin here. As you can see, you kind of even push past the Nubarak. And then you go down. You're fighting a 3-on-3 under a tower, which essentially turns into a 3-on-4. The 4 slows someone down. And now the Vikings take one for the team, so that you can get out of there, but you don't get the idea and stay anywhere. Which results in, well, a couple deaths for you, I believe. Yeah, the Vikings are going down. Sylvanas is down. She died in there earlier. And now you've essentially thrown your advantage away by doing too much. You could have just taken the 4. There's no reason to fight beyond the 4, especially when you're ahead. When you're ahead, you don't have to take fights you don't want to take. That's the whole point of being ahead. You want to create an unfavorable position for your opponent, but you created one for yourself, which is really jumping the gun at that point. You don't have to do that. You could have just split pushed or really done anything else, taken camps or whatever. Or just push the 4 down, but don't jump beyond it and try to kill Kalphas. Is really, he's not an objective. Killing heroes is never an objective in MOBAs. It's just except very late in the game where they die for a long time, but not at level 9. So now that that has played out, you basically gift your opponent a dragon. Here's a very minor thing. Tyrael kind of knows he's dead, so he might as well just move back into the lane and try to cause some damage with his trade ability. But that's, well, that's just a very minor optimization, and it's not, doesn't cost you the game or anything. Now the dragon is sieging this for quite a while, and you lose a Puser camp here, which you can really not do anything about. You just started it a little too late, and This happens. That kind of thing happens too. Maybe you shouldn't have started, I can't make that call, that's a matter of seconds. But anyway. There's really not much happening here except the dragon pushing the gate down. So yeah, the defense is going kind of well, but there's nothing for me to comment on. This Vikings jump is wasted, you should know that. This is just a mechanical error that doesn't need to be done. Now nothing's happening for another 40 seconds. Except you kind of set up here and try to bait them, but that didn't happen. It's a good idea, but it just didn't work out. It's not a mistake or anything. I need to take a quick break here. I will cut this out, I hope. And then yoga. This position is getting really dangerous by the second. We will see how this plays out now. With the Vikings being initiated on going to the top and the team going to the bottom, the Vikings are kind of dead and they should know that. But they longbowed instead, so they're wasting that cooldown. Which is not a big deal because they're dead anyway. Or forced out, anyway. They shouldn't have longbowed. But now you've actually seen Sylvanas' ultimate going in, so they're trying to fight. Judgment has been used. And Trua is now surrounded. This is going really badly because there's no way to fight into this. They're all ranged. And they're taking you apart, so. Position with Vala, Calvus and Shayna. It's not the best idea to fight like that. With all these... like this. It's like... you kind of want to fight in an open field where you can move. Because you don't really... you don't have anything ranged, you only have Sylvanas and... she's kind of right in there and that's not a good idea. So you see all these... Muradin is way back here, he can attack, Tura is getting... stunned and pushed around and Brightwing. I don't know, it's not a good idea to fight here. So you should really just have stood out of this. No, Sylvanas is jumping in here. You might have catched that. It's like... it's really not a good idea to do that. The Brightwing ultimate pushed all of them out, and now Edelmeyer is out of position. And he's dying for it. Brightwing can't do anything. This was like a huge throw, you just kind of went in one by one and... I don't know. So sometimes you just have to take... you just have to cut your losses. The Vikings were dead. Or maybe they could have even gone out, but the call to fight was not a good idea. Now in the aftermath, Brightwing is trying to sneak a quick siege camp. That was quite a difficult thing to say. And he's getting caught out. Debatable whether you should do that, but it looks like a good idea, right? Maybe he should have checked first whether anyone's in here before doing that. I don't know. It's difficult to make that call. The next big moment is coming up right here, with Muradin being severely out of position in the top lane. Of course you can see this, but the blue team is going to take the Bruiser camp now. And Muradin doesn't quite get the idea. The blue team is nowhere to be seen, they're not in the top lane, not in the shrine, which we will see in about 2 seconds as Muradin goes in there. They're not in the mid lane, so they kind of have to be here obviously, because all this stuff is taken as well. And not noticing this is not the worst thing in the world, but you know about now at 11:18. And this should kind of signal that we have to rotate down here. But you will see Muradin messing around in the top lane for another 20 seconds or 18 seconds to be precise, and this will kind of break the team fight because it's the time it takes for the blue team to set up here. As you can see, Muradin is still up here. And now is the moment he decides to go to the bottom lane, but as you can see the damage is already done. The fort will be down by the time he arrives there, so he might as well stay top at this point. You see, Vexx Gaming can't fight at all because they lack the tank and it's just not going too well. Now Muradin arrives, which is too late, but the real issue is that they even try to fight now, I believe. Yeah. This initiation here is really carried out well either. We will look at it again. You have to notice that the longboat is actually already down now. Edelmar is severely out of position in the front lanes. Need to look at that again. So yeah, the red team decides to fight him. The longboat is going down, and Savannah sprints ahead for some reason. Gets pushed back. Yeah, that's Shayna. It's difficult with all these different skins and people. Anubarak doesn't go down. I don't even know why focusing Anubarak is a good idea. He survives inexplicably with all his... He's popped the Locust Swarm and he's getting healed by Vega. He's quite tanky at this point. No, there's really no way to continue this fight because Anubarak is not going to go down. And on this entire backline here, it's like... They're building a concave around you. And if you push into that, you're just going to hurt. Muradin isn't taking part in the fight either. He's like... getting out of it. So there's a team communication issue here. And you just get wrecked because you pushed into this concave, which are just what? My English is sloppy today. So yeah, it's like... Especially when you want to fight, you can't have your tank running out of it. It's just not going to happen. And this is like... This whole situation with Muradin being on top for too long and then not taking part in the fight. A fight that shouldn't have happened, but if it happens, he has to be there. This is kind of what swung the game into the Blues' favor. In my opinion. Now they collected the Dragon. For some reason the Dragon tax is below the Dragon. But that's not part of this analysis. Yeah, you can't really fight here, you can't do much about it, you just have to stall it as good as possible, and I think you did a good job in doing that. But we need to take a look at that. So the Dragon's pushing here. Whole lot of nothing except your fort going down. Then you follow the Dragon. And there's no one here, so Brightwing goes down now, I haven't seen it before. Okay. Yeah, but that's just a matter of the blue team playing better than you do right now. There's not too much you can do about it, really. Especially with the talent disadvantage. It says cooldown remaining 81. I don't know what it is. I mean, it corresponds to the dragon, but I don't know how. Just a bug in the replay thing. On my notes say Sylvanas way too aggressive, which is understandable if you see this movement. And it leads to the same problem you have all game, which is standing past choke points that the opponent can push into. If you watch this, you know that all these guys are down here because you have vision of it. And Sylvanas takes the opportunity to push into the 4. I mean, you can't really kill Kalphas with just the Sylvanas, not in this setting. That's not going to happen. So there's nothing to gain here. But you push into it anywhere, and because your team are good. And they move past the lane again, which they shouldn't do because they know of this movement. It's just inevitable. It's not like 4 guys are staying down here while you create an unfavorable position for yourself. So you go in there to help Sylvanas. And then you're out of position. As always. They're coming this way, or this way. But they're coming in here. Another thing you can do to hedge against this is Brightwing, is because you know they're going to file in from here. What you should be doing is move down here as Brightwing, move down here, and pop Emerald Dream about here. This will push those guys over there, and those guys over there, and then you can retreat out of it. That's how you get out of the situation. But you don't do that, you first die and then you pop Emerald Dream. And it kind of achieves the same thing, except it pushes the Straving rather into your team, which was really not a good thing to happen. Now we have nothing happening for a while because you have to recover your deaths. It's kind of obvious what's going to happen. The blue team wants to push bottom again. So you have to defend us. That means Sylvanas needs to be down here. As soon as the boozer camp is taken, it's the last notice for Sylvanas to move down there. And you really have to defend this because you will lose a keep if you don't. And you set up what looks like a good idea, which is to surround them. But well, your Trua can jump in anywhere with Judgment. It doesn't matter whether he does it from this side or from this side. So setting up here is really just more risk for not more of a return. Like if you if you jump in from over here, it doesn't make a difference because your judgment does the same thing, whichever side it comes from. The Brightwing doesn't want to be here, not at all. Brightwing needs to be with the team. And, well, Eric is taking the shrine, so you don't have the longboat available. Which... And with the longboat gone, there's too little manpower to actually take the fight. But that's just the problem here. You get a good initiation, but you don't kill anyone except for Jaina. But you don't win a team fight because you don't have the damage to actually do anything. And you lose the team fight for it. And the keep. And in exchange I believe you get 4 or something. I don't really know. What's this ping here? I don't know what the ping is. So there goes your keep. There goes their fall. And now you're fighting 18 versus 20, which you have to neutralize before you can fight again. Now nothing's happening for a while. Until about 1915 on the clock. Just a random skirmish you can't do anything about. They take the map, which is expected. But you can't contest it, because they would just kill you in a team fight. With the talent advantage. And now what you really want to do here is just defend. Just defend. Because at 21 versus 19 you can take a team fight. Obviously. Because they have the ultimate upgrades and you don't. Like the level 20 talents. But you go in anyway. And even this fight, it's not well coordinated. Your Brightwing is down here, your Moverin is down here. Your Tura jumps in, and your longboat, it went off about here, and they just returned a bit and nothing happened. So now you're fighting 21 versus 19 in a 3 and 5, with Moverin and Brightwing not quite at the fight. I mean, Brightwing is jumping in, but all she will do is pop Emerald Wind and push those guys away from each other. And then you're dying, so this is the archetypical example of a team fight that is not well coordinated, not well communicated, and just goes wrong on all levels. This is not, I mean, it's just indicative of bad communication or not optimal communication. I would need voice comms to go more in depth on what's happening here. But it's quite obvious what's going to happen. I mean, you take a team fight and you don't really commit to it. You shouldn't have taken it in the first place, but if you take it, at least commit to it. And I guess that's it for the game. There's some more stuff happening, but the blue team is taking this home now. There's something at 2110 that we can look into. But anyway, the blue is just closing this out now. There's nothing to be done here. If you want to go into this fight, you're trying to fight into the bridge. Like, we haven't really seen the fight now, but you're fighting into the bridge against a ranged lineup, and it's just not a good position to be in for you. with this confined space you can't maneuver in there. Even if you pop the Emerald Wind, it just pushes them back, which is a better position for them anyway, so there's not really much you can do here. You shouldn't fight here. Now 2110, there's something about two. Oh yeah, well that's bullshit. Okay, so that's it for this game. We had a couple of key moments, which were basically all the fights that some of them were not well coordinated from a communication point of view, some of them were positionally bad, like you often stand in these choke points where here's a wall and here's an artificial line that the enemy can push into, and you're standing here, like there's people coming from here and that would just crush you. And Uber can jump in and stun all of you, and then you have Jaina and Karthus and Vala all raining down on you. That's really not good against this composition. They will just, if they trap you somewhere, like in a small confined space, they will just rain AoE on you, and that's going to kill you pretty fast. And I guess that's it for now. This is my first video analysis of a replay. I hope you liked it. Please tell me what I could do better. I will upload this to you. If you're not a member of Vexx Gaming and still watch, please tell me what you think about it. Maybe my narration style of what's going down is not the best, I don't really know. It's real replay. Please tell me what you think of it would be awesome. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you want a replay analyzed by me, by all means, post about it, I will contact you. We can talk about it, I will do it for free. I'm happy to analyze replays, it just has to be of team play. Like if you're just going solo queue in Hero League, I can't do much for you because Hero League solo queue is a shitter game mode. I can't help you with that. At least not in such a replay analysis setting. I could tell you how to beat it, but that's on a different level. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow, I guess. I plan on doing this daily now. Depends on how it goes, obviously.